2, 1, 2. Here we go. Welcome to the Catalyst Podcast. It's raw, it's real, it's unedited. My name is Jason. You can find Catalyst at Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, Threads, and TikTok. You can hear the podcast created through Spreaker on YouTube, Spotify, Apple, Google, iHeart, and Amazon. The Catalyst has the power to create change. We hope that's what this podcast will do. If you'd like to be a part of this podcast as a guest or a contributor, you can email us at catalystmotivation561@gmail.com. That's catalystmotivation561@gmail.com. Welcome to episode 20. All three of you, welcome to episode 20. So, in this journey through cancer that you've been with me on, we're looking at this time, it's March 2020. And I had gone and I've gone to Moffitt and I did the extraction of my white cells, which would then go and be manipulated. I'm on my way to Moffitt with my cousin Lenny as my surrogate. My wife at the time was off to Mexico, and we were just about to be in the throes of COVID. Now, before this trip, I kind of prepped. At work, we thought it would have been a good idea to get ourselves prepared for possible hurricanes for next year by doing something now, because, hey, listen, if something happens with this thing that's going around, this corona, we can kind of be ahead of the game. So we had placed everybody at home. We gave them another laptop to work. We tested them out, and then one at a time, every 2 days or so, we'd have somebody work from home, which came in handy when the shutdown actually happened. We were prepared and ready to go. We were getting ready to leave to go to Moffitt, and I can say this: it was some of the most amazing times that I had. The trip to being there, I mean, I couldn't think of being at this with anybody else but my cousin. All the stuff that he went through his life, with his legs and dealing with that. There was no one else that I looked up to or would more rather have than him. I think if it was my wife at the time, it would have been a horrible experience. And I wouldn't have had the support I needed. And I did with my cousin Lenny. So I think he came in on a Thursday. We needed to be there on a Monday. So he came to West Palm on a Thursday. I'd finished up my last bit of radiation I was doing prior to. So there was a 2-week window where they manipulated my white blood cells. And I was doing radiation throughout the time. And it was probably like the best I felt. Seriously, in the entire time going through this, having that radiation it just felt like my body felt normal. I don't know how to best to describe it, but my body felt normal. And so we left out on a Saturday, and either a Saturday or a Sunday to get to Tampa, and then he was going to be staying with me for that first week in the hospital. So I had to arrange to get like places to stay while we were off campus. So it was going to be like that first week we would be in the hospital, and then we'd have to get accommodations. Now they have discounts and everything. And there's a bunch of I think it's the lymphoma society, and there's a few other places that helped with making it a little bit more affordable, and we were able to get some decent discounts. But still, this was going to be something that's coming out of my pocket. But we got there, and as always, he was super charming. But with being from the Northeast, and it being the beginnings of spring, the pollen down here is absolutely ridiculous. So he was showing COVID-like symptoms, even though he was telling them and showed he had, that he had, allergies. So they tested him, and to them, with COVID being so new and everything, they didn't want to take a chance, so he wasn't going to be able to stay with me in the hospital. So that means we had to find an alternative hospital, an alternative location for him to stay. So I talked with the place that we were going to be staying in was a Residence Inn, and they were able to get him a room, because it was actually, there was some kind of event going on that was going to make it very, very challenging and difficult to get rooms. And so they were able to procure one for him, while I ended up in the hospital with getting ready to go through the CAR T. Now, mind you, I was pissed. I was really pissed because, again, he has allergies. They gave him allergy medicine, and he quickly recovered. But again, because of the protocols, they didn't want to take any chances. So we find him a place, and the first couple of days I'm in there, I'm going into chemo. So it was like a couple of days of chemo, and then they were going to do CAR T. So they did tests on me, breathing tests, full body scans. I think I had like 4 or 5 scans. I don't think I was poked and prodded during that time I was there at Moffitt than I was at any other time. I was exhausted from the going tos and the they did cognitive tests on me for my mental capabilities. They were going to measure it before and then after. I wasn't prepared for any of it. It was just crazy. It was just absolutely crazy. And right before they were about to give me the CAR T is when the world shut down. I remember I'm watching ESPN. They were at spring training, and it went from they're doing spring training, the players aren't going to do autographs or photos, to we're not even having any more spring training. And then all of a sudden, from everywhere, everything, it just, domino effect. I mean, those of you who were there, which is a good majority of you, you remember what it was like. For me, I was in the best place I could possibly be. I mean, they were being precautious anyway, but that place got shut down. I mean, shut down. I was as safe could possibly be. I was concerned for my cousin now. I mean, he has to, the place that we were staying, they had, it's a residence inn, so they do like a lunch and a dinner or a breakfast and a dinner or something like that. They weren't doing that, so now he had to figure out where he's getting food. But again, well, how do we know? Like, we were so not prepared for what transpired. It was crazy. It was absolutely insane. He had to come up with some ideas very, very quickly, and the person who was in charge of the residence inn came up with they had the supply of stuff, so they made bags for breakfast and bags for lunch, and they just took care of it that way. But I was really concerned, and even back home, what was going on with these guys now, how they were going to go in school and everything, and then I'm worried about my job. I mean, it was kind of ironic, but they were, again, like I said, we were ready to go. We were all set. We were all prepared for this. So our people were at home working, taking calls, being able to take, answer questions about, it was a communications, internet, TV, phone. We were able to answer questions or, resolve issues, whatever issues we could, without face-to-face. And, we just, we did what we could, and I was preparing and getting ready to do the infusion. And, again, I was trying to mentally prepare myself. Because of the chemo that I did before and the radiation, my hair was gone. I only had this strip of hair on my midsection torso, and everything else was gone. Oh, my eyebrows came back. But I made sure to just shave everything off and get myself ready for this infusion. So about a day and a half before the infusion, they placed in another another three-pronged catheter kind of a thing for the CAR T to come in, and there were 3 things that came out, and then I also had my like another port. Yeah, that would probably be the best way to describe it. We had that port ready, and then I had another port which they put in, and we were getting ready for the day, and the day came, and everything was shut down. I remember I was watching ESPN, and they were doing they had all these crazy television shows on, like they were doing the Tram Car Championships and all kind of stuff. I remember all these oddball sports that came on, and I remember the nurses came in, and they had their garb on, and they hooked me up and got ready to start the process. And we'll talk about that in episode 21. All right. So again, my name is Jason. Thank you so much for listening to the Catalyst Podcast, raw, real, and unedited. You can find us at Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, Threads, and TikTok. You can hear the podcast created through Spreaker on YouTube, Spotify, Apple, Google, iHeart, and Amazon. Catalyst has the power to create change. We hope this podcast will do. Again, if you'd like to be a part of this podcast or a guest contributor, you can email us at catalystmotivation561@gmail.com. My name's Jason. Thank you for listening to the Catalyst Podcast, episode 21. We'll see you on episode 20, or we'll see you on episode 21. This was episode 20. Go be great, everybody.